This is a completely honest and non-sponsored review on Simply Piano. So if you want to learn the piano and you've heard of Simply Piano, but you're not really sure if it's right for you yet, then this video is for you. We're going to go over 4 specific parts so you can see what's beyond the curtain of Simply Piano. We're going to go over the layout and design so you'll see what it actually looks like. Number 2, we're going to go over how Simply Piano teaches you how to learn a song and the really guts of the app. Number 3, we'll talk about the pricing and how much it costs. And then number 4 is just some parts that I think I wish they had, and if Simply Piano is right for you based on where you are, current skill level of being a piano player. I play the piano and I'm a full-time singer-songwriter myself, so if you're curious to what my music sounds like, you can check me out on Spotify or YouTube if you'd like before you get into this video. But right now, let's jump into number 1 where we'll talk about the layout and design of Simply Piano. So in order to get Simply Piano, you do have to have a mobile device or a tablet like an iPhone or iPad. Unfortunately not available on desktop, so you can't be using it on your computer. For me, actually, that is quite a concern because I'm just more comfortable on the computer and more quicker with the mouse, and I don't like having my phone on with me all the time just because of distractions. So after you download Simply Piano, there is a nice little onboarding where they ask you a couple different questions of if you've had any piano experience and what kind of piano player you'd like to be, which I thought that was really cool because right off the bat, it was asking you what your goals were to be as a piano player. Like, do you just want to play songs or do you want to read sheet music? Because everyone has their different goals and that really depends on how you're going to practice. So this is what Simply Piano looks like when you open the app, and on the left side we have courses and then we have songs. So we have Piano Basics, which is the first part. If you are a very beginner player, they will teach you just how to go through some different notes. And we'll get into that in the learning section, but this is just the layout and design. So left to right, we have different courses, essentials, a little bit of what's next, we can get a video, and then it talks about being a soloist or chords. Those are 2 different really tracks. So on the top we have soloist and the bottom we have chords, and we'll show you the different track types as we go left to right. And you can see as we're scrolling here, you can see what track type you might want to pursue. We have chord stylings on the bottom. We have different pop chords on the bottom. So depending on if you want to learn pop songs or if you'd like to learn more classical theoretical training, you might want to be a soloist. But if you want to learn, just pop songs and stuff, perhaps the chording is the better track for you. So let's say we are interested in learning pop songs. We can go to this Pop Chords 3 and click into it, and then we'll get a course. At the beginning here we have a reminder, and then we have 2 grayed out sections here. We can keep scrolling and see the course ahead of us that are all grayed out because we have to start in a linear approach. So we would start at the beginning, reminder, and chord reminder, and then we would get a quick onboarding video, and this onboarding video happens at every course, which is nice because sometimes you just forget what the chords are or you don't remember what the notes are. This onboarding video will be someone speaking and will show you where you place your hands on the keyboard. You can always skip this by going to the bottom right here. And so then we would get into the next section of the course here, which is actually playing the notes. So we're going to play the C, D, E minor, G chords. You can always pause and go back to the courses section by pressing this little hamburger menu. Now we're back at the courses section and we can go top right left to go back to our pop chords course, and then we can go top right here, change course to get back to the main menu, and then we can be scrolling left to get back to the beginning or wherever we'd like to go. So that's the courses layout. The songs layout is more or less the same left to right, scrolling through different songs, and then at the top here we have essentials, different navigation. So essentials 1, essentials 2, pop chords 1, essentials 3, and so on and so forth up to classical, chord styling, intermediates. And you'll notice if I go to example intermediate 3, you'll see that this California Dreaming Mamas and Papas song, it says requires intermediate 3. So I actually can't play this song. I can get into it if I'd like, but it recommends saying that this song will be quite difficult if you haven't taken this prerequisite course. If you feel up to it, you can always press I can do this. And that's the layout of what Simply Piano looks like, courses and songs. We have the top left here is typical sections. You can edit your profile. There is little workouts and a community, a social aspect to the app. And that can be valuable to some people because you want to share your successes socially, or you're a competitive person and you want to compete with other people on the app as well. And then there is a search function at the top right where you can type into your keyboard any song that you'd like to play. You can also click and drag songs to your heart section. You can click that and drag it in there. Now let's get on to arguably the more important section of this video, which is how does Simply Piano teach you how to play the piano and what does it look like in the learning interface. So Simply Piano is good for both people who want to jump into learning songs right away or those who want to build the fundamentals and foundations of learning the piano and focus on theory and technique first, maybe drills, before actually getting into learning songs. You can do both. They're quite interconnected because the songs are based on the courses. So before you get into a song, it will recommend you take a course before playing that song, or you can just dive right into that song. For example, if we go to songs on the left here and we want to play Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, it says in grayed out here, it says requires Essential 1. And if we can click into it, it will tell us again, we recommend you first learn Essentials 1, which is saying go to the courses section and learn Essentials 1. So if we go top right, exit that and go back to courses, we'd go back here and finish Essentials 1. As you can see, I've only completed 5% of Essentials 1. And so Simply Piano recommends I go into this course and complete the rest of the course before learning Free Fallin'. So if we oblige them and go finish Essentials 1, this is what it would look like. We would just go through the course left to right. We would start with rhythm. We'd watch the rhythm intro video where we can always skip at the bottom right. However, if you are a total beginner, I do recommend watching these videos, these short intro videos of what the section is of the course because, for example, it teaches you what a quarter note is and what a quarter rest is. And those are things you will need to learn if you want to learn sheet music as well. That's one thing that I do like about Simply Piano is it does focus on teaching you the little things that will make you eventually read sheet music. And this is the course interface of Simply Piano, and it is very simple. At the top here, we have play button, a restart button. We have this navigation where we can go back to the course track, and then we have this little ear where you can hear the notes being played. So if we press this ear, we're going to hear those notes. So that's what it looks like for simple little courses. Let me show you what a more advanced course looks like. Essentially, it's the same thing. We just have a bass clef now, not only the treble clef, but the navigation at the top is still the same. All you have to do is press play or restart. And if you don't know what the notes sound like, you could press the little ear. And then if you want to go back, you go back. This could be a great thing for some people who like it this simple, but because it's this simple, there's no added complexity of like, you want to just narrow down on a certain notes to play, or you want to lower the tempo. Unfortunately, you can't lower the tempo and you can't choose certain sections of the sheet music that you want to play. You always have to start from the beginning. So that's great that it is that simple, but because it is that simple, we're missing out on some of these other basic features. So that's what the learning interface looks like with Simply Piano. Let's look at how Simply Piano teaches you how to play a song. So when you play a song, there are two different options to dive into playing the song. You have the training option, or you can dive in to play the full song right away. And both of these options will have different interfaces. If you go into the training option, it will look like this. And so we can see here, this training option will have basically look like the course section really. We just have one treble clef here with notes. I can't be scrolling left to right, and I just have to play the notes there to continue on with the sheet music. And if I don't know what they sound like, and I can always press this ear to hear what they sound like. Essentially though, it's the exact same interface of what the course section would look like. If we want to just start playing the song though, we can go back and just start playing the full song with this green button here. And so this is going to take us through the full song. You'll notice already the navigation is quite different. At the top right here, we have tempo, and we can choose between 60%, 80%, and 100%. We can also be scrolling left to right with our finger, and we can go to any part of the song and press play from this part of the song. So let's say we just want to learn the chorus of the song. Well, we can scroll to wherever the chorus is and play that part and learn it from there. One thing I really don't like about Simply Piano is when I'm in this play full song mode, I want to be playing the song, but I actually want to be practicing parts of the song, and I don't want to be in the training course all the time. Sometimes I just want to play the full song, but only play the chorus section. But I want to be playing the chorus section over and over again in a loop format. So if I go and scroll to the chorus, I can play and practice that section of the song. But because I'm in this playful song mode, Simply Piano is giving me points. So even if I rewind back to that bar where I wanted to start from, it's giving me a 25% rewind penalty. And I don't really care about the points, but I just want to start. I want to practice that chorus. And I don't have the option to loop that chorus. And sometimes you just want to be practicing those certain sections of the song without having to go through the training course all the time of the song. So that's one thing I really didn't like about Simply Piano is it didn't have the option to chunk certain parts of the song to focus on learning those specific parts of the song. And besides that, another thing I really didn't like about Simply Piano was the ability to hear a metronome, so you know for sure you're playing in time. Alternatively, there is the backing track of the song being played, so you can hear a version of Tom Petty singing, you can hear the drums and the guitar, you're playing along with that, which is nice because it's sometimes cool to play along with other people, but I didn't have the option right here in this interface to turn off that backing track if I just wanted to play the piano. I don't want to hear all the other instrumentation. So I would have liked them to have an option where I can turn off the backing track right away. The tempo option is valuable. Let's say you aren't comfortable playing at 100% yet, so you can put it down to 60% and play it there. And you always want to be playing slower before you actually play at the real 100% tempo, but I don't have the option to going at 50% tempo or even slower than that. If we take a step aside and talk about Yousician, for example, on their piano learning interface, they had the option where you can drag it down to, I think, at least 25%, and you can go up to 125% at any interval in between. So from the perspective of a beginner, that's what Simply Piano looks like when you're learning beginner courses and when you're learning beginner songs. Now let's talk about how much it costs and how much you're going to have to pay on a monthly or annual basis. Two different options. They have family plan and then a premium access plan. So the family plan comes in two different options. You can do a 3-month family plan at $107 or a family plan for 1 year at $194. Then you have the premium access plans, and you can get them on a 3-month, 6-month to 1 year basis. So if you go 3 months, it's about $71.99. 6 month is about $101.99, and then the premium access for 1 year, which I have, is $129.99. So more upfront, but a little bit cheaper long term. On top of that, though, there is a 7-day free trial, so you do have to sign up and put a hold on your credit card, but you can try it for free for 7 days. Just remember to cancel it before the 7 days if you don't want to continue on with Simply Piano. The last section of this video is to talk about, is Simply Piano right for you, depending on where you are as a beginner piano player. And some things I wish they had, and some things that I like about Simply Piano as well. So I do like that it is very simple, and there's no way that you can get confused within the app design. It's very simple to get around and to choose things, and it's a nice design. I did find it a bit childish in a way, which could be good if you like childish design or you are a child. So the design is great, but when it comes to learning the piano, I didn't like the fact that there wasn't very much focus on giving you the flexibility to play in lower tempo and not giving you the ability to play with a metronome or click, and also not being able to turn off the backing track, because sometimes you just want to be playing the piano without the song backing track. I didn't think the note recognition was great if you're using an iPhone or iPad or tablet or whatever, and you don't have your keyboard plugged in, because it actually just recognizes any sound around the room. Get the plugs so you can actually plug in your devices, because that will be a lot better. Another thing I wish they had was some type of software that told you how hard you were pressing the notes, because there wasn't any feedback on how hard you were pressing the notes, the velocity that you're pressing the keys, because you could just be going through it and pressing the keys really, really hard or way too soft. And piano is all about the feel and how much pressure you put on these notes, and there wasn't any feedback to how hard or soft you are playing these notes. And I think that's just the general unfortunate thing of learning the piano online, is you never get that feedback from the teacher who might be right beside you. So should you use Simply Piano if you are a total beginner piano player versus someone that might have a little bit of experience who is just learning to get better? If you're that total beginner piano player, I think Simply Piano could be really good for you, because it's fun to play and it's easy to find things. But once you get to a certain level, it might be worth seeing whether you should go to a different piano learning app that can build your technique in a more appropriate way, where it shows you how hard you should be hitting the notes, where you can lower the tempo and really focus on playing in time properly. And then maybe after you have that foundation, that technique, you can come back to simply piano and use the sheet music they have. If you're wondering what might be some other good piano learning apps for you, I've done another review on Flowkey and Yousician and some comparisons on those. So I'll leave a couple video links in the description. Please feel free to subscribe and check out some of my own music available everywhere. I hope to see you in the next video.